Well, hello and welcome to another episode of The Card Show. This week, it's been a combat sort of heavy weekend. Obviously, international break soccer-wise, so, that is what that is. Some people like international breaks. Some people like myself do not. Yeah, I think it's boring. But on the plus side, no more international breaks till March, I believe, so get back to the thick of it. I think it'll probably do. My boys, City, they're probably the best to have a bit of a break because, 4 defeats in a bounce. Obviously not all in the Prem, and we are still second, but still bit of a tough patch at the moment. Obviously losing Rodri is a massive one. Ballon d'Or winner Rodri, by the way. He's had a slight bump in his card prices. I've seen a lot more people on Instagram trying to get rid of the cards they have of him. As well as actual market data on his cards doing well. But yes, it's interesting to see the Rodri effect, eh? But yeah, I'll see NFL this weekend, which was Chiefs' final loss, so another downer for me. But like Patrick Mahomes said, that's not the end goal to go undefeated. It's the end goal to obviously win the Super Bowl. So not a great result, but in the grand scheme of things, hopefully it's a big spark for the rest of the season. Josh Allen now looking for me more like an MVP than Lamar. I know everyone was saying Lamar MVP. I think he's a very good player, but yeah, I still think Allen looks more like an MVP at the moment. What are they, 9-2 now? I think Bills. So yeah, but again, it will all change. Still, still some more games left to play. Will it turn up in January, February time? That's the important part, right? So he might do well for these next 7 games or so. But will he be there? Will he be there when it comes to it? We'll see. We'll see. It's different things in it. Having regular season MVPs and obviously playoff MVPs / Super MVP sort of thing. So yeah, we'll see. But he's lucky. He looks good. Yes, he's still got a mistake or two in him, but what quarterback doesn't? I don't like the fact, similar to Lamar, the run game, taking the hits. Anthony Richardson, similar. You don't want your QB, your franchise QB, the one you're paying the big bucks to. What, $500 million nowadays, $500 million deals. You're paying him to be getting injured and taking hits like that. But he's a big man. He can take it, I suppose. And yeah, we'll just hope he doesn't take any years off his playing career because it's fun at the moment with the QBs and the level of QBs we've got. When you look at Allen, obviously you can put Burrow in there. Herbert's performing really well with Jim Harbaugh. But Jim Harbaugh? One of the Harbaugh brothers. Obviously Lamar, Mahomes. So yeah, very, very, very good time. Did I say you got Bo Nix looking decent as well? Jesus. Bo Nix is one of the surprise packages, I suppose, with the Broncos. Drake May's not look too bad. But yeah. No F1 again, so sports kind of, it has been kind of not the best weekend for sports, but it has been a very combat heavy weekend, and this is sort of where this pod is going to go today, really, with obviously the return of Jones and John Jones and Stipe, and also the return of Iron Mike Tyson. We'll start with that one because whether you agreed or disagreed with it, it happened. It generated a lot of money, and just, people are still talking about this day, aren't they? I mean, whether it's the Netflix issues some people had, whether it's the fact that Tyson looked a certain way. Yeah, it was a spectacle, as we say. It was interesting. I think a lot was made of what it is. I think everyone sort of thought it was, Mike Tyson, if he gets in the first few rounds, he's gonna rip his head off, and he'll do this and he'll do that, and I think it meant more to Mike just to prove that even at his age, he can still, still up for challenges. I think so. It was. I don't think for him it was a proper, I can still be a top boxer sort of thing. And listen, Jake, as much people hate him and say he's this, that, the other, and he's fought one sort of real boxer who's not even, ranked in the top whatever in any rankings. I think Tommy Fury, he got beat by that guy. all these other sports personalities or ex MMA fighters he seems to take on. It's not their sort of sport. So it's MMA. It's an MMA basketball. He fought a basketball player, then well, former basketball player. So yeah, it's now he's put a legend of the game. But yeah, it doesn't really do much for Jake Paul if he's trying to legitimize himself and he really wants to be a boxer and a champion. But it obviously he's doing stuff that maybe kids would dream of. He's probably kids that are going to come and dream of and thinking, "Oh, I wish I could just like get in the ring and share the ring with Floyd Mayweather," and because of the experience, right? Yeah, and he's doing it. He's living his little dream, I suppose. And fair play to him. He's put Mike's 58, man. He's an old man. Jesus, it was tough. It was tough to watch because Mike looked his age, and boxing as a sport in general is physically demanding. It's a tough sport, and no matter your age, when you're doing a training camp, you're gonna come out with little niggles, little injuries. No one's ever gonna come out of a camp, that intensive, that long, and not have slight issues. Whether it's even just wrist, knuckles, back, slight one with the hip or the knees, whatever. It's slight little niggles. You go, yeah, do you know what? I've just maybe hit the road too much. Maybe just a little bit too much bar. Maybe just this. And at that age, 58, trying to go for a camp. Yes, it was only 8 rounds, and yes, only 2-minute rounds as well. But 58, putting yourself through that. I mean, I don't know what his sparring was like. I don't know how much he was pushing himself, but I think Mike would have pushed himself as far as he probably could. I think I know he's a big weed smoker, etc., but I think he would have put himself through it. And again, he just didn't look. I mean, let's face it, that could have been over in a couple of rounds. If Jacob put it on him, I think it could have been over. I think the ref probably would have stopped him, maybe cornered the phone, the towel in, because the 8 rounds, I think it was average out something something like 9 punches around, something like Mike. So 9 punches. I think I'm sure it was like 90 punches the whole fight or something like that. It was kind of crazy. Which when you think of Mike Tyson and how the ruthlessness, the viciousness, how he used to be, just it was a shame to see. And again, Jake was respectful in the way he could be, especially towards the end. And he obviously got on his bike and didn't want to get punched and feel that heat. But yeah, I don't know if it does much for him. I think he needs to start trying to fight actual boxers, trying to, just. I think it's a bit of a challenge. I think a few of them have challenged him, but yeah, that's what he needs to do. Just you've done your part of bringing your fans over into sports and fight, and bringing them over into this sort of thing and fighting these other celebrities. But if you really want to take yourself, get going against a boxer. That's all I ask. If you want to keep doing this other stuff and being sort of exhibitionist boxer, then crack on. I mean, him rumors that Tommy Fury's fighting Darren Till, I believe, which it's like blurring. I don't know. It's not blurring. Is it blurring lines? I don't know. It's a weird now because boxing being such a prestigious sport for so long and means so much to a lot of people around the world, not just this country. People in this country, but and now it is becoming sort of a not a laughing stock, but there's just so many belts for each weight compared to like UFC. And we have charity boxing for ages. So you got all these people on the street who think they're boxers to do a charity fight. These unlicensed stuff, and now you get all these YouTubers and influencers, etc., and the misfits cards and all this sort of nonsense. It's getting interesting. It's getting it is sort of losing its way maybe a bit. Maybe it's losing its essence. I mean, they're talking about it not being next Olympics as well, which would be interesting. One of the originals, I think, from the Olympics, and it's going to goes back to way back when. So yeah, it's kind of a shame in some respects of how it's going, but also I think it probably opens up the door to so many more young kids who obviously look up to these influencers and watch them, watch them on Twitch or YouTube, and we watch them to now be like, if they can do it, I can do it too. I can go to the gym and get myself into some sort of shape and learn self-defense and maybe do it. So yeah, interesting to see how it's going to go. I'll just grab my juice. There we go. But yeah, for Mike, I get it, a personal challenge. I'm glad people, well, I know some people did pay big money to go sit there, but I'm glad it wasn't like a pay-per-view where you were paying 20, 30 pounds, or it may be nowadays. Yeah, if you've got Netflix, it was on there. And I'm pretty sure they streamed majority of it on the next day or not long after on, was it the YouTube? I can't remember, but yeah, it just wasn't Mike Tyson, was it? To be honest, it wasn't the great Iron Mike we all know and love, and it'll be interesting to see what happens next with Mike, because he did talk about Logan Paul. I hope he doesn't. But let me know your thoughts. Do you think more of these boxers should do it? Would you like to see, probably not Roy Jones because he did go too many MGs, but would you like to see these older boxers have another chance? Like, would you like to see Ricky Hatton fight KSI, or I think was it Amir Khan and KSI were talking? Would you like to see that sort of stuff? Would you like to see the crossover of the YouTubers to actual boxers? Are you happy for them just to stay in a lane? Do you think they should maybe start there as a sort of amateur career and then move into the pro game to sort of, but again, do the journeyman and do it that way? I think that'd be a nice way, because then, how many up and coming boxers who start as well, fighting sort of, no disrespect, but the journeyman, the people that have lower in the ranks to sort of build their own rankings up, also their experience, and they're getting paid peanuts. Whereas if you get these influencers that bring all this money to it, maybe these people that are fighting every few weeks, and they're the pillars of boxing. If you don't have the so-called journeymen, you wouldn't have as many great boxers as you've got, because they're where everyone goes and learns. Everyone, you apply your trade essentially. The biggest learning curve. So yeah, it'd be nice for them to get a decent pay as well, because the influence money coming in. But whether that would happen is another ball game. Or they don't want to do the hard work, do they? So we shall see. I'm still with my juice. Oh, yeah. No. But yeah, it would be. Hope Mike doesn't go back in the ring. Got nothing to prove. He doesn't need the money. Just whatever faculties you've got intact, just stick with that, and spend time with your family and relax now. Just the high life. Just do promotional stuff. That's what you need to do. I don't think I like seeing many more Xboxes either. The Jones Juniors. I don't even like Floyd's exhibition bouts with these random people, or it's what Deji, Lofted Logan. Some Japanese Muay Thai? It's not needed. Just let it go. Let it go. I think Conor McGregor was it Conor McGregor and Jake Paul all been beefing as usual. It's all just nonsense. But on McGregor, let's move to UFC and the return of arguably the GOAT of mixed martial arts, Jon Jones. Good performance. I mean, you can only beat what's in front of you. It wasn't the Stipe that we've known, 7-8 years ago. He's not fought in like 4 years, 3 years, 4 years, and that was a KO to Ngannou. So that says a lot. But for Jones and his legacy, that's all he's doing. I mean, the people he's beating his record is phenomenal. And I get it, this whole Tom Aspinall stuff. Tom's it's a tough one. It's the he's in that who needs him club. Jon Jones doesn't really need him, but Tom needs the belt, right? I think obviously Dana White loves Jon Jones. I think the best thing to do is give him some sort of, I did it in boxing. It's not lineal. Is it lineal? Yeah, lineal champion elect. I don't know. Just give him some sort of like platinum status, and let the heavyweight title actually become available, so Tom can just carry on with division, fight any other challenges, and let Jon Jones fight. I think he wants to fight Pereira due to respect or whatever. Then the championships and how well he's done. But yeah, this nonsense about John Jones being scared of Tom is yeah, I don't think that's the case. I think he knows it's a tougher fight, but I don't think he's scared. He definitely gonna have a challenge. So yeah, I just think he's doing it for him and himself and his legacy. And yeah, so it is what it is. He's got the Stipe one on there. You got to put Ngannou in the mix. Can he try and get a crossover there as well? Getting Ngannou back in the mix. Yeah, Ngannou Aspinall will be a good fight as well. Just saying, just saying. But yeah, it was good to see him back. Again, it wasn't. Again, I would personally like Mike. I would like John Jones to retire. I think you've had a great career. Just retire. But again, if you want to fight Pereira, I'm sure they'll make it happen. But I don't know. I just don't like to see people going. No, people seem to stay in a sport, especially this sort of sport, too long. And you just why? Just get out when you're on top. Floyd almost did it and then came back numerous times, and now he's doing this nonsense fight. And I just think, why? Just don't ruin your legacy. And people, no matter what, people always say, even if John Jones fights wanted to, maybe fights middle of the next year, as a river rest now, goes into camp February, March, whatever, and fights in middle, summertime, and it's Pereira, and it's another year on his his age and stuff like that, and he beats Pereira, and at the end of the year, people, no matter what, will still say, "Oh, well, I got to fight Tom." And it's like, Jesus. Then if he fights Tom, and it's 2026, whatever, and he beats Tom, there'll be someone else back then, another one coming. Oh, you're ducking him. So I think no matter what you do, there'll always be someone else. It's always someone else. And even if John retired now and Tom goes on to fight a few times and wins a couple and loses, and that's it. Oh, this guy, beat Tom. He could be one for John Jones, and you're never going to get away from that. So don't worry too much about this whole Tom Aspinall nonsense. Just focus on what you want to focus on, but just get out. Just don't stay in too long. It's the old Batman saying, right? You either die a hero or live long enough to become the villain, right? So you've done it. You've done everything there is to do. 2-weight world champion. You beat some legends. The resume speaks for itself. Just bow out. Bow out. Take up a new role. Do something else. I'm sure you could do loads of things. Do something else. Oh, what's interesting as well is looking obviously at data on Market Movers app, which as well, if you do want to try and look at this sort of stuff and any other sort of data, just head over to marketmoversapp.com, use the code Mahomes, MAHOMES, for a 14-day free trial and also 20% off for life on any package you choose. And a package starts at just $9.99. So what a bargain. Plus 20% off as well. It's even cheaper. Just saying. But yeah, the UFC currently, from this is UFC cards from 2009 to 2020 against a selection of sort of top cards that they do, and that's actually up at 9.35%, which is interesting. So slight bump in UFC. I think obviously if you're looking at the data for the last few months here and stuff like that, let's go back to when Fanatics Fest was as well, because that would have helped see those started there. But there has been a lot. I know it's been so Fanatics Fest. There wasn't a huge amount of UFC presence. I know it was more WWE, but we had a big dip beginning of the year, and it's not picked up as much, but it is rebounded around about halfway to what it's lost. So it's not too bad. As yet on the year, it is down 9.4%, which is interesting. But for the last 30 days, we are on the high of 9.35%. So cards are probably a bit more interesting. Again, I think this last few weeks, you got to look at the hype with John Jones, looking for those old autos, the old tops cards. Obviously, Conor McGregor's always thereabouts on socials. So yeah, there is a slight bump. So it's interesting. It'd be interesting to see if that's an area that tops will go down. We've talked about it before about football games, and I can get these created sets, and obviously another Man City one just come out. Is it Blue Moon? I think it's called the Blue Moon set. Could they start doing these at these sort of events, boxing events, and UFC events, UFC 309, and go there. I suppose not that many kids go to UFC, so it's not like you can, but get the kids interested. But people still might want to pick up some cards there. Little concession store. So you need a little concession store, and some UFC stuff. People like memorabilia. Yeah, if you get to tell them the chances to get a signed card, or I think you do like short, like trunks material and a canvas as well. People could get them interested, and you never know who might have once collected cards and all of a sudden go to the UFC event and gets interested again. So, you know, it could be something that could be looked into. But again, not as easy because a lot more kids will go to football games, but you never know who gets involved, right? You never know because they might have kids and they might get the kids involved in, sort of cards, or even other sort of cards because they'll find a new interest in it, etc. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they do anything like that at all. Would you like that? Would you like to go to a UFC event or a boxing event and have a little concession where you can buy a little concession stand, cards from obviously not from the event. That would be kind of cool. That'd be like Alton Towers. You do the you do a ride, and in the end of the ride, you go in a little queue, and there's your picture. I always thought how easy it would be to do that for Tops cards or Panini. Panini is a Panini Instant Tops now have stands there, and at the end of each fight, you come out at the end of the event, and you could, oh yeah, that first silent knockout. Because again, it could be someone's first. You might have got there, was it 5-6 o'clock when you start? You might watch someone, and it's their first fight ever. So it'd be a rookie card, for instance, and it was a great knockout, and you might want to think, do you want to remember that guy for the future? He's one of his first guys. This, and I was there for it as well. It could be interesting. I don't know if they do. Did they do top 2 instants? The top nows from UFC? I feel like I have seen some. I can't remember if they're doing lately. Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember. I cannot remember. Again, it should be something that should be more accessible, I suppose. But boxing events. I suppose it's another license thing. Look at Luke Little as well. Last night, early this morning, I think it was when he, another one. Have dark cards and dark. I think it's Panini's right the darts rights. So yeah, Panini Instant. It would be interesting. It would be interesting. But I suppose with Tops at the moment, I don't know if you've heard the news with Fanatics. There's all sorts of rumours and stuff swirling around. So certain people weren't getting money back from events over that have been cancelled. I think it was Pittsburgh and Orlando have been cancelled. Then there's rumours that the next Fanatics Fest in New York was going to move before the national. And then there's rumours that it's the whole Fanatics events sort of thing is being sort of cancelled. Loads of people have apparently lost their jobs in that department, and Fanatics have lost something like 12 mil, something like $10 million. So there's rumours, there's all sorts of hearsay, I suppose, on what is going on with Fanatics Fest and Fanatics in general. And I think there's a few people saying that they might even try to get out the sports card hobby in general interest until that would be a turn of events. Again, I think it's a very strange play. I think they came in, Flash Harry, all the money, just throw money at everything, and now it seems to be biting them in the backside a little bit. I said numerous times before, I think they made a few wrong decisions, wrong business decisions, wrong plays, etc. I know, so you're going to hear from breakers, and again, maybe some people do like him. I know it's unlicensed sort of stuff. They smashed out the composite and midnight, some stuff like that. NFL is just, yeah. I think when the war started, they looked at it too much as a business. We can beat, we can beat Panini, or and it's and what it's really done is it's affected the hobby and the hobbyists and the collectors, and in turn the investors, because you've divided everything now. We're going to have Chrome rookies that are unlicensed, they're autos, and we're going to have the actual Prism and optics, but never have any autos because you've took players, and it's a sad sight to see. I think once they bought Tops, they should have worried about anything else. The main priority, not events, get the Panini deal done in some capacity, whether that's a partnership where everyone's happy, Panini still make money each year, but they have the sort of sharing the rights or sharing the players, but at least have it where the people who you guys should be servicing, which are the people essentially paying your wages, because we're the one that buying all the products, are being able to get the products that we deserve and not been having to sacrifice during this time of potentially generational talents in Victor Wembanyama, Caitlin Clark's, in NFL, you suppose you're looking at, you could say your Strouds, you could say Anthony Richardson's, probably won't put them down as generational talents, but we're having to miss out on these sort of things, again, the stuff that we would usually love to collect because of this, ongoing war. So, they're not going to hire me, unfortunately. I would sort of be out, but yeah, they need to stop bombarding us with products. They turned the business into this. It was. I had a concern. I think I mentioned it before. When they started saying, "Oh, this hobby's never been sort of marketed," and the way people do marketing nowadays isn't a case of head down to your local Woolworths and buy this, and head to the local football game and buy this. Is how it's the cheapest way is not to buy space on the Super Bowl halftime shows and all this stuff is mini influencers, right? You have people advertise it for you. So all these breakers will hype up everything, telling you, "Oh, the greatest product, get involved. Latest product, get involved." And they'll tell you that every week, don't they? "Oh, look what you can get. Look at this checklist." And the checklist is usually quite rubbish. Um, so yeah, I think they use breakers as their advertisers. You know, they made him jump through little hurdles or sign up to this program, and when Fanatics Live comes available, you can only break on there, and made some shots jump up, through hoops, and you have to do this, and you have to have some brick and mortar store, and you've got to break as well, and all this sort of nonsense. Get it's all kind of a bit wrong, a bit strange, and I think this is the problem with people that aren't really in a hobby having such power in the hobby, because they just drive it as, how can I make money out of all these people? They probably see it as an untapped well, right? Oh, it's a lot of money over here. How can I make more money out of them? As opposed to, how do I keep this hobby doing what it's doing, because it's been self sufficient for so long, and the money's been in it for X, Y, Z, and businesses have grown in it and stuff like that, and started, and in it. And how do I help that hobby? Not only has it been self-sustained so long, and again, the Nationals were going before all this stuff. The National didn't just start in COVID, by the way. It's way before that. Yes, it wasn't as big, and yes, the crowds weren't as diverse, but it was still going. It was still sufficient. It was still self-sufficient so long. They should have come in, and they should have teamed up with the National. They should, listen. We can get you bigger, better events. We can get more people there for you to sign, and this, that, the other, and that's how you help. You don't compete and divide and conquer all the time. It's collaboration. It's like school system. It's nonsense. This always sit over there and do your tests in silence. In this world, to be successful, everyone's collaborating. It's collaboration. It's always great minds, plural, right? There's always a few people in this. So yeah, they just kind of messed up a little bit. And it's been interesting to see how much damage it has done to him, and how much this rumors is true. I hope it's not. I hope they can resurrect what they've been doing, and I hope the people are getting fired, the people making these daft decisions. But yeah, less of these products every 2 weeks that are just nonsense. Let's just get back, and you know, I think they probably only need to do like a handful of products a year tops. Yeah, from a tops point of view, I'd be saying, right, we've got licenses next year, 2025, where maybe everyone wants Chrome and Chrome Sapphire for the sports. So let's get that done. Let's get Chrome and Sapphire done for these sports. Let's get Dynasty as well in these sports that we can do. I mean, yeah, again, it's still the Panini thing. You just got to get that done for me. then every year the true collectors and the true people won't invest in these cards, and even the flippers, they know then, right, you know, Sapphire is your low budget flips, your Dennis is your high budget flips, Prism, same, you know, same with your options, new contenders, with the ticket autos and we've got flawless stuff like that. You just need to have all these players on both sides doing the cards because the cards are the most important thing for us. Get everyone signing the cards they want and just make everything better. But what do I know, eh? What are your thoughts? Have Topps done the right thing? Have they messed up the hobby? Should they not buy Panini? Does it make sense to you what they've done, or do you think what I would say makes more sense? Just get some sort of deal. Either buy Panini outright, do a 50-50 deal where you can share the licenses and players that have signed each other, not just you know lease out players, etc., and vice versa. Panini can lease out Caitlin Clark to do autos, and they can lease out their players to do autos. Similar to what Leaf did for years. I think they still do. They had Haaland and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just a shame. And it'd be interesting to see what happens with Fanatics Fest. I know some people did go. They seemed to enjoy it. Was it something that was on your radar? I think I talked quite heavily about it. I thought it was going to be not so much a national killer. I might have said that too fair, but I did think it was going to be sort of the new sort of grail, the holy grail for these collectors to go to and investors to go to. I think a lot of people seem to have this like idea of what the national is, and I've got to go. You've got to go to the national, and there's people go, and some people just go just once, and you can sort of tell, oh, yeah, I did it. It was good, and but don't do it again, do you? Interesting. I think it's overly hyped to a lot of people. I don't think it's a lot of reason for a lot of people spending so much money to fly from England, obviously to say not from America, but to be spending that money to fly over there and be there. I don't think a lot of people can sort of really enjoy it that way. But people enjoy things differently, and it's just for me, it's never been a case of don't want to spend X, Y, Z amount of thousands to go and stay in Chicago and just be stuck in sort of hotel 5 days of the week, late long days, long nights, and all that. If you're proper into the card side of things, if you're just there just to browse a few cards and you're going to go out, then it's a whole different experience, right? But to be proper involved in it, then yeah, it's a different ball game. So I mean, let's face it. I've even going to London for me is said £400 just to get down there and accommodation. So that's a big enough expenditure. I tell you. Yeah. Want to enjoy though. I want to enjoy. Yeah. But well, that will be it for this another episode. Like I waffled on too much, but appreciate you as always, everyone, and all the comments always appreciated. And everyone I did go back to this week, appreciate your comments. I felt like I did do a Q&A one not long ago. Yes, Jim, I've not actually confirmed, but I will be doing another one with Jim. I know people seem to enjoy that. I know there will be more on the grading side. We did talk about that off camera, the whole process. There was something else I want to talk about. Oh, yes, the crazy 1-of-1 pulled at third down trading card shop. Walt Disney. Interesting. It's divided, I think. Personally, wasn't a big wow for me. I don't really care too much for Walt Disney as a person. So having a 1-of-1 gold card of his didn't bother me too much. I believe they did pull an auto, which is kind of crazy. That's a bit more of a wow to me. I think, because I don't really know how the auto was done. But yeah, you know what I mean? Last one more like an auto. But yeah, 1-of-1 of Walt, neither here nor there. It could have been if it had been a 1-of-1 of Walt Disney. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if the auto was 1-of-1 by the way. I should clarify that. Definitely pulled I say definitely. Now even I'm thinking was it 1-of-1? I think they pulled a 1-of-1. It was kind of big, so I'm assuming it was 1-of-1. But yeah, and it was an auto pulled. It's kind of crazy that they had these autos just lying around. If that's how it was done, or was it like Leaf or just whoever it is, and he cuts like the auto off like random documents he signed and like sticks in a card. But yeah, fair play. I mean, if again, the people who are probably investing in that break and investing may not be interested in like a flawless one of one rookie auto. So it's everyone has a different sort of taste and appeals, right? But it's kind of crazy that it was just pulled on a random, I think it was Saturday, and it's third down trading card shop. So fair shouts, fair play to them. Having some breakers down there and ripping that, it's kind of cool to have it so close to home, because usually these lately, especially looking at the was it the Euro stuff they just done, and it was like the one of one Ronaldo or something that's like was pulled into China on the day of release. So yeah, it's kind of cool to have like cards that probably sought after by a certain amount of people. They're probably going to be quite expensive card being pulled in England, and it just down the road in Yorkshire as well. It's kind of cool. Yorkshire. So yeah, that was kind of cool for third down and for the UK in general, I suppose. Because I don't see much from from the other shops about breaks going down there. I think we saw a bit from Tops Rip Night, where it was in Kaboom, and they had a guy ripping like 30 boxes where it was. It was crazy. Maybe more than that. I can't remember. It was, he just ripped a lot, a lot of products, boys. And he was pulling some nice like to fives and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just good to have it on your doorstep. Celebrate a little bit more, don't you? Well, shout out to whoever invested in that spot. How'd you price up the Walt Disney spot as well, of all things? Because he can't have many cards in that set, surely. Must be like a short printed dude. Because if I'm buying into a Disney break, I'm probably gonna have to have characters more than Walt Disney. So surely you got the amount of characters in there from each film. But yes, well, again, yeah, thank you. Yeah, Jim, Q&A pod, yeah, possibly soon. Something else, maybe not. I don't know. I think it's because it was not really any sports. It threw me off. Really sports I'm interested in, shall I say? Because obviously darts, etc. But yes, thank you as always, and I will catch you on the other side, I think. Take care. Peace.